Okay, so hello and welcome back to another roguelike tutorial. This is going to be a pretty quick one, just for showing how to have it so that when enemies die and eventually when objects are destroyed, we can drop coins. In the actual game Wizard of Legend, when you kill things and get money, it kind of just like flies to you really quickly. So I will do that probably in the next one. In this, I'll make it so we can drop money and then like pick it up. So first of all, get yourself some kind of coin thing. You can have a single sprite, but, you know, be better if it's animated. And I'm just going to use this one I found online. I'll link to it in the description. It's just a 6 sprite animation for coin spinning. So once you import it, if it's like this, you want to change it to sprite 2D UI, apply, and it should go fine. They presumably are all packed centered anyway, so it's fine. And it would be nice if they're all in one thing, but I don't know if you can just like add to it. I don't think you can. It's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an empty game object and go into the scene just to kind of understand where it is. We'll center it, and what we need is we need to add a sprite, not spring, a sprite renderer, and we'll put in our default coin and go to the game object. So here it is in the scene. It's a bit big, so let's, you know, scale that down on the. I'll scale it like this. That's okay. We'll leave it like that for now. So obviously that's just going to display as that, and then we also want a box collider on it, and that's basically all we want on it. To be honest, we don't really need physics. Like we don't need a rigid body. We also want an animator controller in here called coin, and then we'll add an animation called spinning, and they'll always be spinning, so we'll put it on loop, go into the animator and just put spinning on. Just going to keep going. Now the actual animation for spinning, let's call this like coin, why not. So let's put on the animator. So now it has spinning animation, and if I take these and drag them onto here, you'll see if we now bring that back down, if we press play, we get that animation, and as you can see it's extremely fast. So what we can do is we can say you could spread these out individually, and I don't think there's an easy way to do this. We could just change the samples down to, say, 15. What we'll do is we'll say, put this down there to a gap, and to a, whoops. That doesn't want to work. So we've got 1, double gap, 1. I don't know why this 3 isn't showing. 0, 1, 2, nothing, 4, 5, nothing. Anyway, 4, gap, 5, 6, gap 7, 8, gap 9, 10. Now as you see, that's working, but it's not actually seamless. It kind of like finishes, then stops and starts again. The reason being is that, well, let's just say this is 10 samples, because it is. What we actually want to do is we want to go to our curve, and if you look, or does it not have a curve? That's odd. Oh, well, anyway, you don't have to worry about that, and it actually does just change the sprites. So we're fine with that animation now. That's just going to be the constant animation that's playing. If we press play now with this in the scene, well, our coin spinning, it could be going a bit faster, but you know, you can tweak the numbers. Now what we want to do is, sorry, I actually want to speed up a little bit. It's a bit better. Anyway, so now we've got a coin in the scene with a collider, and we want our collider to be a trigger collider so we can walk through it. And we need to have some code, so we'll call it coin pickup. Now, I'm just thinking, coins are the only things that really just like collide with the player and like give them currency. There's coins and gems. So I'll just put it like currency pickup, because then I can just have it be either coins or gems and then adds depending on which one it is. And that's pretty easy to do when we add gems, but for now we'll just add coins. What I'll do is, sorry, I got a good idea. I will add coins this video and show you how to do it, and then your task outside the video is to do the exact same thing for gems, because then it means the video won't drag on too long doing boring stuff, and then also it's a good task for you to do just to get into the habit of like how to do this kind of thing. So we've got our current thing. Now I just want to make sure actually we have player stats. They don't have any currency or anything like that. Now you could have a separate folder for this, but to be honest, since there's only going to be 2 currencies, like there's only going to be gold, like there's only 2 things that the player has stat wise. So for now, I might change this in the future, but for now we're going to store it in here. So let's say public int coins, public int gems, coins and gems. And then we'll say, so here's our script for the current pickup for the coin. So what we want to do is we want it to have a value, like whether it's a coin or a gem, it's going to have a pickup value for like how much it gives you. So like we'll have a public int, you know, the quantity of how much it is. And what else do we really want? I don't think there's any other variables we really need. So we're going to say on void start, it does nothing, to be honest. Update does nothing, but on trigger enter, when it collides with something else, we then say like if other. Now we could check the name because our player is always going to be called player, but it's good habit actually to check tags, because then you could tag nothing else, and this is actually going to pick up money. I'm just going to say other for this. Other.name is equal to player. If they are equal to player, that thing it's colliding with, we want to say game manager. Well, no, we don't actually. Sorry, what's the script called? Player stats. Dot player stats, the instance of it that we created last video. I think it was the last video. Dot money, gold. What did I call it? Coins. Plus equals pickup quantity. Now this is going to work for the coins. What I want to do is I want to have a I'll show you enumerators if I haven't already, though I think I did do a quick thing about that last video for which direction we're facing. I'll show you how to do a public one for this. So let's say we end up having more pickups. We can then have an enumerator for what type it is. There's so many different ways to do different things, and for now, because there's only 2, I'll have a public enum called like object. I don't know, like pickup pickup object, and then we need the like value, so it can either be a coin or a gem. Okay. So that basically means that if something is of type pickup object, alright, first of all, it's telling you that like the standard way to use a enum is to have a capital like that. And now we want to have our own variable of it, so we'll have a public pickup object called, you know, current object. I think actually if I say private, because we don't really need that to be in the inspector, let's have a little look. So on our coin, there is a problem. Current access. Okay. So what type is it? Is it a coin or a gem? This is a coin, and it's going to give us 10 currency or whatever. And then we'll say, we'll just say after it, console dot debug. Sorry, I'm using this isn't JavaScript. Debug dot log player stats dot coins. Now let's test this. So if I go to the console, sorry, actually, I need to do a thing here. So now that we know what kind of pickup it is, we need to then add depending. So we'll say if current object is equal to pickup object dot coin, then we do this. Else, now we could just put else, but I'll do else if current object is equal to pickup object dot gem player stats dot gems plus equals pickup quantity debug dot log player stats dot gems, sorry. And then obviously if you add more, you can add more. You could also do cases and switches and whatever, but actually I'm not sure if you can use enums for them. I think you can. Now these debug lines aren't, necessary, but hey. So you could make a script like this for every kind. You could have like a base class and then have different classes for a coin or a gem. But because coins and gems do like quite literally the same thing, like you just pick them up and you get more of them, and they don't have any other functionality as such. Yes, you can spend them, but they don't do anything themselves. You'll check the currency to make sure you have enough and you'll take it off. So it's simple enough just to shove it into one script for picking up stuff, for the sake of this game. Other games for pickup systems, like my game where I have like different items that do different things, and I have spells as items, but obviously you can't have spells in your inventory, you can't have them on your hotbar. There's a lot more to take into account, but for this it's just fine to do this. So we could also have another thing just saying like, well, if it's neither of the above, but it can't be neither of the above because it's always, you can't pick none on an enumerator. It's always something. By default, it's just the first value, and then if you change it, then, So we go to the thingy and we're running around and whatever. Let's go and pick it up. So the first thing I've noticed is that we can't pick it up. So one thing we should also do is we say like when we collide and it's the player, we also at the end, no matter what, we want to destroy the game object. But one other thing is it didn't seem to be colliding with a player. So does the player have a collider? They do. And it's at the bottom of them, and I haven't really done much with it. I'm gonna say the box collider on him is a trigger, and it's gonna be so this is gonna be his hitbox rather than his like physical collider, because we haven't really got anything to physically collide with currently, so we don't need to worry about that just yet. Yeah, no offset, and then like 0.3, 0.2, 1, 0.2, 0.1918, 1.5. There we go. That's like the perfect size. So he's got a collider, but the thing is, this is his hitbox collider. So we probably want to reduce this because it should fit his his model. So for example 0.1 and 0.1567. That's his like self. Alright, let's save and let's try again. Nope, it's not actually working. I'll make sure in a second why. So the player has a box collider, which is a trigger collider. On trigger enter collider other. print other. I think I know why, sorry. I've been a silly. And I've put a box collider on the sprite when it's meant to be a box collider 2D. Some of you probably noticed that and are calling me an idiot right now. But it's because I'm so used to working in 3D that I don't often use these components, but they're basically the same. Anyway, now that that's out of the way. But it's still not... Oh, here we go, we've got a null reference. Okay. At least we're getting something. Oh, what's this? That is not something I'm using. Let me just press play and see. So that's saying there's instantly a problem. Null reference exception, object reference, not such a... Yeah, but where is it? None of these things are actually to do with my current project, but usually when you get null reference, it's a bad thing. I'm just gonna make sure I've... Well, one thing is, I'm pretty sure if if you want to check trigger colliders, I think at least, I don't know if it's both, but I think it's at least one of the objects has to have a rigid body. If the player's a rigid body 2D, and then we just set it to dynamic mass of 0, which will then probably get shrunk down to a very small value. We don't really want drag on the player, and we don't want gravity, we just want it, yeah. Let's apply and go. Okay, we're still missing something. So if I go to the coin, add a 2D rigid body. I could say that's a static, to be honest. Alright, so there is a problem. The problem appears to be that I'm not hitting this object, and I feel like it's actually because we're on a different Z. If you look... Sorry, someone's motorbike outside. It's being a bit of an annoyance. So if you look, the position on the Z of the player is... What was it? If I go into... No, this shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to go into the play mode and go into scene view as soon as these go flying past me. So currently those are colliding, but it's not registering as a... Oh, I'm such an idiot. On. No, you're probably shouting at me. Void on, trigger, enter 2D. Collider 2D over. I've been trying to fix it doing so many different things, and then I've just been an idiot. Well, at least I'm 99% sure it's going to work now, because that was a pretty big thing I was missing. Because this is 2D, and my brain is still hardwired into... Yep, it works. Now 110. Okay, that works. Done. Okay, last bit of the video. Oh, we get it to... add the thing, so we just want it to make it so that when the enemies die they drop this object. So prefabs, coin, and then we can just add the coin as a prefab. Coin, set its position 0, 0, whatever. Delete the coin from the scene, and then now we just need it so that when the enemies die, so we've got an enemy health script somewhere. We want to say maybe public game object def loot drop. Then we'll just say like when they die and we destroy them, instantiate loot drop the transform.position of the object, so transform.position, and then I don't know if this is the same for 2D. We'll assume the rotation thing is the same for 2D, or at least I'm going to assume it is. And it's going to ask us to drop in a new game object, which is going to be our prefab of the coin. And we'll apply so that all the other ones get it too. So now when they die, they should all create a coin at their like def location. If this works, then that's the video done. Fingers crossed. Let's maximize. So that one creates a coin. Yep. Ding, ding, ding. So now we can build on from this. Now they get currency. Well, you know, you can go spend the currency. We can then also make it so that there's you know, the other currency thing. You can get items. We'll make it so that there's particle effects and sound effects when you get the coins, and just other things to make it better. But now this kind of gameplay, we might want to display the gold as well, but you know, I only really had time for a short video tonight. As you can see, it's nearly midnight. I need to just get this video out. Hopefully I covered something that's helpful, you know, instantiation, enums, 2D colliders. I will try and drill it into my head for this tutorial series to be in 2D mode. I'm so used to doing 3D, I always forget with 2D. But at least it's working, so yeah. Not much more to say. Obviously, like, if you want to see more of these videos and more of my other videos, then, you know, dropping a like and subscribe would mean a lot to me. If you want to join our Discord server, we are currently in the bot testing phase for the server bot, where I'm currently working on it like each day, starting from a few days ago, getting, you know, new commands and new functionality with it. We're going to end up creating it, combining it with the Daffodano website, which is going to be going under production soon, and just basically building up the community and, you know, just making cool things with code, which is what we're all about. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Not much more else to say, and goodbye.